Over the last couple weeks, my grandma had been seeing something or someone around Firefly Fields. "I saw him in the pasture grazing," she'd say. "I saw him stealing hay from the stalls." I'd reply, "Who, Grandma? Who did you see?" "Firefly." I'd called the doctor to schedule another appointment. I thought that maybe the stroke had affected my grandma in more ways than we'd initially thought. That was, until I saw him too. I was busy cleaning tack when I heard my grandma calling. "Come out here, dear, he's back." "Who's back, Grandma? If it's Firefly, I told you he passed decades ago. There's no..." Firefly? Back when my grandma was a young adult, she competed in Grand Prix level competitions worldwide with her beloved horse, Firefly. They were unstoppable, winning medal after medal. Eventually, Firefly retired from the show ring. With all the prize money she had collected over the years, my grandma opened her own stables, which she named Firefly Fields after her beloved horse. When he eventually passed from old age, my grandma chose not to ride anymore, instead putting her full effort into the stables. So what was this horse that looked exactly like Firefly doing here? He really does look just like the pictures. I thought you were just losing my mind. Well, dear, I'm not there quite yet. We need to call the Jorvik Rangers, see if anyone's reported a missing horse or something. I mean, gorgeous horses like these don't turn up out of nowhere. All right, hon, but don't be surprised if no one claims him. What makes you say that? When you've lived as long as I have, let's just say I have a feeling. Hello, I'd like to report a horse that just turned up at my property. He appears to be some sort of warm blood, flea-bitten gray. Yeah, we can keep him here for the time being. Okay, thank you. The rangers said they'll look into any missing horse reports to figure out who this Firefly lookalike belongs to. But in the meantime, we'll be housing him here since their stables are full. Okay, sweetie, but you'd better get used to having him around. Sure, Grandma. Obviously, I was skeptical my grandmother had any idea what she was talking about. But just as she'd predicted, when I was contacted by the rangers a few days later, they informed me no missing horse reports fit his description. While I continued to doubt this was any descendant of my grandmother's past horse, eventually the staff and I shortened his nickname of Firefly's lookalike to just Firefly. I had almost gotten used to his giddy neighs of excitement every time we brought him food, and the way he loved being scratched just below his neck, until Lily found something. You're sure it's him? Positive. At this point, I'd recognize that cute face anywhere. So that means my grandma was right. He really is Firefly. Firefly's grandson, who, if you read the entire article, you'll know was sold off and hasn't been heard about since. I did read the entire article. It's just, Firefly isn't supposed to be here. He's supposed to be off with this mysterious buyer. Why wouldn't they report him missing? We decided to contact the original breeder of Firefly to try and find out who he'd been sold to. They were reluctant to tell us at first due to confidentiality agreements, but eventually informed us that Firefly had been sold to a barn called Sunflower Meadows. I'd never heard of the place, but nevertheless, Lily and I headed to the Forgotten Fields where it was supposedly located. Is this seriously it? According to Firefly's breeder, yeah. Well, clearly no one's been here in a while. This is weird, like really weird. We should contact the Jorvik Rangers. Lily, I found something. The Happy Horse races were one of the underground horse races here on Jorvik that had been brought to light a few months ago. Since being exposed, all stables participating in the races had been seized by the Jorvik Rangers and the horses had been taken under their care. But if this place was abandoned and Firefly had somehow made his way to Firefly Fields, what was going on? A couple weeks later, I met with a Jorvik Ranger to discuss this situation. Thanks for agreeing to meet with me in person. There's just too much information to share through email, you know? Yeah. So, based on the racing schedule found at the site and the way Sunflower Meadows was abandoned so quickly, we deduced that it was, in fact, a part of the underground Happy Horse races. Oh my gosh. The horse you call Firefly definitely escaped before the place was abandoned, since we believe whoever owned the place took all the horses with them. Do you know where they are now? We're working on it. We already reached out to Firefly's breeder, and he seems to have been unaware of who he was selling his horse to. He doesn't have room to take Firefly back, so we need to discuss what to do with him. I know you rangers are extremely busy and have so many horses already at your rescue barns, so if taking Firefly permanently would help you out at all, I'd be glad to do so. Are you sure? It'd be a huge help, but we don't want to add any more to your plate than necessary. I think when Firefly first arrived at my barn, something told me he wouldn't be leaving. So yes, I'm sure. I've been sure since the beginning. Once I knew for sure that Firefly had been forced to compete in illegal horse races, there was no longer an ounce of doubt in my mind that he belonged with us, with me. It felt like the original Firefly himself had saved his grandson and brought him to me, knowing I'd take him in. It felt like fate, and I can't wait to see where fate takes me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and that you're as excited to see more of Firefly as I am to share him with you. If you'd like to see more content surrounding the horses and I, feel free to check out my Instagram, which is linked in the description. I'll see you all next week. Bye!